Dawson Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. This is going to be my review for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Comics Shattered Grid Deluxe Edition. I decided to try a different approach than recording it from my review station and opening the book in like a first-person view. I don't know, I thought this might be kind of better, but we'll see. Let me know what you think. What do you prefer, this kind, or when I have it in my review station, or maybe a hybrid of both? But this is basically the compendium, just like Volumes 1 and 2. Volume 1 they actually finally just recently re-released, and I got one. I might cover it at some point in the next couple weeks. But you know, like they do the hardcover compendiums compiling like year 1, year 2, and now Shattered Grid. So all of Shattered Grid is in here, the entire story of the main and Go-Go and all that stuff in this nice hardcover little package. That sounded really cool. I really do like these, and I'm glad that they were reprinting the other ones. Like, I always like getting the compendiums. Like, they have the paperbacks too, but I always like the hardcover ones, even for other comics I read before Mighty Morphin, and I'm glad they finally reprinted it. Like, almost everyone else always has something available for important stories so you can check them out, but they're like, nope, this is super rare, let's make it hard to find. But I really like this one. I like the style of it. I like that the front has the cover of Final Evolution Draken on there, which is neat. The back's kind of brown, but it's whatever. But yeah, I really like that. Like I said, it compiles all of the stories from Shattered Grid in here, from the original main comic and Go-Go in there in one handy book, which is really nice because I've been thinking about rereading Shattered Grid a couple times on and off for the last few months here, and so I'm glad that we have a chance to actually have one thing that I can pick up and be like, okay, I'm going to reread it instead of getting out all the issues. There's no like concept gallery or anything like that, but there is the cover gallery, so you can get a look at all the covers. So you know, for those of you that didn't want to collect the covers and didn't want to spend the money for them or aren't a fan of that, you can see all the different covers that we got over the series. I guess it was over a year, but you know what I mean. Which is really cool. I really like that. I'm kind of OCD about it because I still like to get the covers to potentially like put in a little case to display. But you get to see all the ones that they released, which is really cool just to flip through them and see all the differences and stuff. And I really love the art on all of them, so it's really nice to be able to see all that and stuff like that. And you can see it even includes like the Go-Go ones to show that both of them are in there. So that's neat. But that's pretty much what it is. It's a compendium of all of Shattered Grid. You know, I've already reviewed the storyline, the main storyline. Compiles the Go-Go ones, which is mainly revolving around Ranger Slayer. And then, like I said, the cover gallery. There's no concept art or anything. However, just like with the others, there is a standalone issue whose name I'm forgetting at the moment. Wait for it. A Promise to Keep. So I'll be talking about that in just one second. I'll just sort of wrap up my final quick thoughts on this, and then I'll do a little mini review of that exclusive story. I almost said inclusive story, but exclusive story that comes with this. But overall, I really am happy with this. It is a little pricey. I was gonna say, like, if you can find a good price, because sometimes they do have little sales on it, but also, for whatever reason, the first one became rare, so I don't know where to recommend in terms of that. But I'll say that if you're a fan of Shattered Grid, or you've been meaning to check it out, this is the way to go. I mean, like I said, it's a little pricey, but it's really a nice book to have because I love the look of it. I think it looks really nice. And it's nice to have it all in one place. And it's nice that it's not just the main comic, it's also Go-Go. So you basically get the whole picture. And so I would recommend this to people that were fans, people that wanted to check it out. It also could be like a good gift or something to pick up if you wanted to dip into the PR comics and see this cool storyline. Although I recommend reading the pre-issues to this because the original Draken arc, I think, is important to leading into this, but this is, I think, the highlight, or at least one of the highlights of the comic series so far. So for fans of Shattered Grid, or for those hoping to get into or hoping to get someone into it, I can definitely recommend checking it out, but as always, try to find the best price possible. Now, as always, this has an exclusive story, which is kind of an incentive to buy this, and they have those in all of them so far and stuff like that. I'll be honest, I only thought this story was okay. I mean, I suppose that's an incentive. I wouldn't include that in my top recommendations, like, guys, you gotta get this to read the exclusive story. Because honestly, it's only alright. The story is basically kind of a gap bridger between when Ranger Slayer is taken over by a Draken, and when she reunites with the Resistance, and basically she like reunites with Bulk and the other members of the Coinless, and she's like pretending to be good, and then she's like, evil is how evil does. She doesn't say that, but she basically turns on them, and she basically wants to capture Trini and take her alive, and she'll let the others live, and then her and Trini clash. And the one nice scene I thought was kind of interesting was when they were fighting, and Trini kind of one-upped Ranger Slayer Kim. She said, like, basically, do it, finish me, and there was like a tear running down her face. It very much felt like a you know, I'm being controlled, like, but I still have some of my faculties in their moment, unless that's not what they were going for, and that's what I read into it. But I thought that was kind of an interesting, nice moment. But then after that, you know, the place blows up, and Kim's like, okay, we gotta hunt them down, and I need my coin back. So it kind of gives you the reasoning why she has her Ranger Slayer powers now instead of the pink sentries and stuff like that. So it was basically like a gap filler that didn't need to be filled. Like, it was fine. Like, I like the story just fine. Like I said, I like that moment with her and Trini with the tear, but I'm not a huge fan of Ranger Slayer's character in a lot of ways. Like, I really like the suit and some of the concept, but her being brainwashed, I think, is really boring. Like, I think the most interesting thing about Draken, or one of the most interesting, is that it's like, if Tommy stayed evil without the spell. And I think they could have gone a couple different interesting directions with Ranger Slayer, and just brainwashing just makes it a little bit boring for me. Like, there was some sort of interesting concepts brought up later about her redemption, but so it didn't make this story that much interesting, or that interesting to me, because it was basically the generic story of ally gets captured, brainwash, comes back, and pretends to be good for like 4 seconds before she turns, and it just basically gives you an origin of like, oh hey, here is what happened after she turned, and how the Resistance found out about it, and how she got her powers. Compared to some of the other more exclusive stories, I thought this was a little bit of a weaker one. Not bad, just kind of weak, and I wouldn't say it's a very strong incentive. Like, if you want to avoid spending money on this for the exclusive story, honestly, in my opinion, unless you're a huge Ranger Slayer fanatic, not worth it. Anyway, that's about it for this one, guys. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get notifications for my videos. Helps me out a lot. Till next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.